I want to talk for a minute about intention. One of the things that I say, and I believe most of the time, is the only way to know a person's true intention is by the result that they create. And this is fairly simple. You know, if you look and somebody's pretty miserable and they say they want to be happy, but they continue being miserable, probably their intention at some level, at any rate, to remain unhappy, miserable. But intention is a funny thing. When it happens, like I was supposed to meet my cousin at the airport, and we were making a shift. He'd rented a car at my grandmother's, at his dad's funeral, and was leaving from the airport I was flying into. So I said, well, why don't you leave the rental car there? I'll return it for you. Then you won't have to have a drop-off fee for the airport, and I won't have to get somebody to come and pick me up. And I got into Pittsburgh and called my cousin, and his number wasn't available. He'd lost power and forgot to power up his cell phone. Gee, how many of us have never done that before? But as I walked through the airport, I thought, well, I'm just going to have to get in touch with Dave. And as I was going down the escalator, I looked down at the bottom of the escalator, and there was my cousin Dave down at the bottom of the steps. And I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. I like it when things like that happen. And we went, and he got me the rental car, got me the key, showed me where it was and everything. Then he said, I should never doubt your ability to be exactly where you say you're going to be when you say you're going to be there. And I said, you know, Dave, when those sorts of things happen, I am the master of my destiny, the creator of my own reality. You know, I am the God within myself. And I said, when it doesn't happen, it's Nicole's fault. I'm married. That's my wife's name, and it's quite easy to blame everything on her. That's why I got married, I think, sometimes. But I was, a few years ago, 2 of our children's passports had expired, and I know they last every 5 years, and you should check things like that, but with 6 kids, at that time we only had 5 kids, I think. But 2 of the kids' passports expired at the same time. And the dilemma was, my wife, Nicole, was in Austin, Texas. I was in Houston, Texas. She was flying the next Monday to Europe and couldn't fly with expired passports. There was no passport office that could issue passports in Austin. So she wanted me to do it, and they had to get the stuff from the passport office in Houston on a Southwest flight before 1 o'clock in the afternoon to get the passport application to be processed that day. So I went to the passport office in Houston, and they said, well, we can't, you know, until you have the papers here. But there's nothing we can do. And the last minute is at 1 o'clock. And so I went to the airport, picked up this sealed envelope, got back, and I got back in line at the passport office, and I said, excuse me, to anybody here, I don't mean to sound important or be important. I said, but this is what's going on. And I told him, and I said, you know, if you would let me in front of you in line, I would really appreciate it. And everybody let me in front. And the man behind me was from England, and he started laughing, and he said, you know, what do you think the chances are of you really getting those passports today? And I said, 100%. And he said, really? And I said, yeah. I said, it's about 100%. I said, because you can't believe the lengths I'll go to get this done. I said, I'll sit on the floor and cry like a little baby if I have to. But I will do whatever it takes. But I could feel that it was going to happen. You know, and then I say, well, that's my intention because I'm so magnificent and intentional. And it was one of those times when intention was on. They handed me the passports a little over an hour later, and they were still warm. My classes enhance intention. And when I'm on, it's like anybody else.